When a person is living, all the experiences that they have is through 5 cognitive channels. And I'm going to make this very simple because these are things we studied in the monastery for 20 years to get a degree, a PhD in Buddhism. But I'm going to make it real simple for you. Everything that we perceive, we call it through the 5 cognitive channels. Feeling, taste, touch, smell, hearing, mind. These 5 cognitive powers reside, if you have a human body, in the body. It is not a part of the body, but it is in relations to a body for a short time. If the mind or the cognitive power of the mind is stuck with the body, then if people have brain problems or they have brain difficulties, then it will affect their personalities completely. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say is that our body is connected to our mind, but it's not a part of our mind. At the time of death, there are 7 stages of absorption. The 7 stages of absorption are where the winds of the body from the gross cognitive powers of our body start to absorb. I know that's a little technical. I'll explain. The eye consciousness will start to dissolve. The ear consciousness will start to dissolve. The smell consciousness, the taste, the touch, the feeling, the 5 consciousness will start to dissolve. And at that moment, when the person is dying, it is very important we don't cry. We don't touch them. We don't disturb them. We don't make noise. You may think, how is that possible? It is possible because we can do anything we want for a person we love. So therefore, when the person is dying, their winds are gathering. In our bodies, according to Chinese medicine and Tibetan Tantra, there are 72,000 channels converged into the chakras throughout our body. And those we can use in higher tantric meditations such as Vajrayogini. We have very renowned high lamas of Tibet. For example, my teachers, who I have seen and witnessed, can predict their death, tell you when they're going to die, write down the date and the time and the place of their death, and you will find that notebook after they have died. They will also tell you who their parents will be, the region they will be reborn in, the time and the place, and in some cases, the name. Soon, a group of my students will be sent to the monastery for the witnessing of an ordination of a very high incarnation that has been found. A very high incarnation. This incarnation now is 6 years old, but when he was 3, he was already asking for his students by name. He was already able to speak like his previous life. He was able to recognize people, and he's just a 3-year-old child. And his father is not even Tibetan. So this child now is growing up and maturing and showing us reincarnation very clearly. Very, very clearly. Now, when the winds gather from our eyes, our ears, our speech, our nose, our body, it dissolves into a central channel. In our bodies, we have 72,000 channels that converge into 3. The three channels are Tsa Uma, Tsa Rongya, Tsa Kyongma. Means the central channel, the left, and the right channel. When the winds gather, they gather into these 3 channels, and it's very important that, it's very important that at that moment, we recite the names of the Buddhas or the Yidams or the practices the person is dying of to let them remember. Because why? They can still hear us. They can still recognize. So at that moment, it says saying, oh, what's going to happen to me? I miss you. Don't leave me. This is not fair. Stop. In Buddhism, it's always about selflessness, not selfishness. When a person's dying, we don't think about ourselves. We think about that person. and we focus on that person. And we make sure that person's going to be okay, not us. We will work on ourselves, our feelings, and our sadness after we have sent this person off. Now, when that is happening, then the wings converge into the central channel. It will rest there. A great meditation master may stay in that meditation for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 20 days. One monk 6 years ago stayed in that meditation in South India for 28 days. The doctors came, the police came. Why? You can't keep a corpse that long. But it was not decomposing. It's pictures, recorded, scientifically checked. Doctors came, not 1, 2. They wouldn't allow our doctors. They wanted real Indian doctors. The police came. They checked the monk. The monk is not breathing. There's no heart rate, no heartbeat, nothing. But there's no rigor mortis. And he's sitting in meditation. This year, my guru, Khyentse Jambayi Shirimji, did the same thing for 3 days in the South Indian heat. Brian, Bang Kui went there to witness. And the monks sat outside to do prayers. This is what we can achieve if we put our lives towards spiritualism. If we put our lives toward pleasure, gaining, money, fun, entertainment, then at the time of death, it will be the biggest fear of our lives. Now, when the person has finished meditating there, there's 3 ways they can leave their body. And I'm talking about their mind. 3 ways. From here up, from here to here, and from here down. If they leave from here up, they will take a rebirth in the 3 higher realms, as Buddha spoke about. If they leave from here to here, mediocre rebirth. Rebirth maybe as a human with some defects. Maybe human born with a lot of problems in their life. If they leave their body through the lower regions, anywhere in the lower regions, they'll take rebirth in one of the 3 lower realms. So when the person is dying, yes, CPR is important. Yes, prayers are important. Yes, to hold their hands and all that is important. But in the Buddhist higher Tantric teachings by Lord Buddha, which he expounded to us 2,600 years ago, do not disturb their meditation. So what we need to do is we need to go to the body and quietly recite their guru's name. The name of the Buddha they were most associated with. If there's someone that always criticizes monks, criticizes gurus, criticizes association, you don't recite that to them. Because they created bad karma with their lamas and their monks and sangha. So the bad karma would open. So someone that criticizes monks and their gurus all the time, if you say, oh, monk this, monk that, you mean the bad karma open. So if their particular Buddha was Amitabha, or if they believed in Jesus Christ, or if they believe, it doesn't matter what they believe in, because what they believe in is just a method to leave the body correctly. If their Buddha was Tsongkhapa, Vajrayogini, set up, Justin, set up. Remember your practice. Remember your prayers. Leave. You would do that to him. And then the next thing you would do is you will take the most sacred object that you may have, which I don't have here. You take the most sacred object that you have and you rub their head. Why? You want their consciousness to lead to the most topmost orifice. Because the high masters and in the Vajrayogini Tantra, we are given the practice every single day. It's called Poa, to meditate, how to leave our body. So when the time comes, you leave in a controlled manner. Now, after you've done that, the consciousness will leave. You may sit down. The consciousness may leave. When the consciousness leaves, this is what people who are connected to the deceased person should do. If you are their teacher, if you are their husband or wife, if you are their mother or father or siblings or brothers, whatever you're feeling, guilt, sadness, mixed emotions, let it go. They're gone. There's no use anymore. Whatever you should have done for them, you should have done for them while they were alive. Whatever you have done for them that you should have done, you should be happy you've done for them when they were alive. But when they have passed away, there's no point in crying. There's no point in doing a lot of rituals. There's no point in doing a lot of speeches. Let me tell you why. Whatever you were supposed to do for them, if you didn't do, it's too late. And the years of difficulties you've created for them, or they created for you, the karma will come back. If you've done wonderful things for the person, and you've shown respect and love and care and given their minds happiness, as Lord Buddha has taught us to do for people, then when they have passed away, you have nothing to worry about. Let me tell you why. Because you've done everything that you should have done when they were alive. Now, when they have passed away, there are 49 days in which a person has to take rebirth. They will take 7 consecutive deaths, means in the bardo. They will be in a formless body. The body will be without form, but it's mind only. Buddha described 3 states of existence. Suk, Sume, Deja. They'll abide in the formless realm until they take rebirth. Now, during that time when they're in the bardo state, it's different for everybody, all right? This is just a general rule, not the rule for everyone. When they enter the bardo state, they will go to places where they are familiar with. They will go to their families and friends. They'll go to all the places that they love in life immediately. For those of us who have the second sight or sensitive, you'll feel their presence in the room or near you. Sometimes a wind or a gust. Now, what the family can do now is this. Please remember this. Put all your feelings aside for the moment. Whatever is done and not done is over. For 49 days, if you have advanced practice, you do advanced practice and dedicate it to them. If you don't, this is what you can do. The family members may set up a shrine of anything they believe in. Because Buddhism embraces all faiths. In our case, we put a statue or a picture of Lama Tsongkhapa, Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, Tara. And every single day we gather as a family. And we sit together. We offer one light. And we sit together and we make peace with ourselves. And we make peace with the person that has passed away. And we let them go. Because if you have a lot of feelings that are kept up, you may keep them here. If you keep them here too long, they may remain as a spirit. Is there hundreds of haunted cases around the world? We Malaysians here have many stories about that. Not everybody could be hallucinating. What happens is every single day, let go of what has happened. Let go and carry on your life from now. You recite Om Mani Padme Hum 1,000 times every single night for 49 days, and you dedicate it for them. You can visualize the person that has passed away, and you can visualize from the Buddha, from Shakyamuni, or Tsongkhapa, or whatever Buddha you're focusing on, lights going to this person and telling them to enter the light, to go. We're not asking you to go because we want you to go. We're not asking you to go because we want you to go. We're asking you to go because we love you. We're asking you to go because you have to continue your journey. You have to continue your next rebirth. And we are here to support you. Because we love you, our conditioning is not set on you. Now, for 49 days, we should make peace with the person that has passed away. Let me tell you why again. Let them go. If you're highly attached to them, out of love, you've had a good life with them, and you keep thinking about them, you keep them here. If you've had a bad relationship with them, and you feel guilty, or they feel guilty, and it's unresolved, they will be here because they can't leave. So you need to be the one with strength and let it go. Let me tell you why. Whatever we had difficulties about with the people who passed away, it has no meaning now. If we had arguments about a girl, a family, money, business, house, the sky, a cow, a horse, if we had arguments with them about these things, you know what? They're dead. I say this with respect, they're dead. And it doesn't matter anymore. They have to let go. So you know what? You let go. You know why you should let go? Because deep down inside, no matter what differences we have with people we love, out of love, we let go. In the Buddhist practice, it's better to do this while they're alive, not when they're dead. You can spend $20 million on the best funeral in the world, but whatever you've done to them that you've harmed them during their life is not going to make up for in the funeral. But the best way to make up for is to transform your minds as a dedication to the person that we love. Now, in the Buddhist text, when the mind, the physical gross, Gross, aggregates dissolve into the subtle mind, the subtle mind will abide at the heart area. That's very important. At that time, we have to say things. If they're near their guru, in the Buddhist text, and you can Google it to make sure I'm telling you accurately. If they're dying and they're near their guru, it is considered that that person is of the highest virtues, the biggest merits. Why? Because their guru can send them to a good place. My teacher had a sponsor named Robert Stone in the USA. Robert Stone died of a heart failure in his sleep. He was 36, around 35, 36. He was a very wealthy Jewish man. And he wanted to become a monk, but because his mother opposed, out of deep love and respect for his mother, he didn't become a monk, but he stayed in the center and he sponsored Geshe-la. And he sponsored me too, part of the way. He died in his sleep. Everybody was in shock. There was no symptoms. There was no signs. There was no nothing. The police came to check. The coroners came to check. They came to the center. They checked. Nothing. He passed away. And what was incredible was 3-4 years later, another one of Geshe-la's students, his name is Paul Keen, gave birth to a bouncing, cute, adorable baby boy. And the Dalai Lama recognized him as a reincarnation of Robert Stone, the Dalai Lama himself. And this young boy showed very similar characteristics to the deceased Robert Stone. He was very attracted to Geshe-la. He was very attracted to the Gompa, to the Tanka, to the statues. He hugged Geshe-la. He grabbed onto Geshe-la's robes. And they're like, what's wrong with this kid? You never met Geshe-la in your life. What is this? And Dalai Lama confirmed that Robert Stone came back. Gelek Rinpoche, another great teacher who lives in the United States, had a student named Gelongla. I met him. He's an Austrian monk. And he's quite fierce, quite loud, quite rude, quite direct. So this monk, when his time was coming, was very strange. Suddenly we all heard. His teacher told him to come to America. This monk didn't have much money. His teacher doesn't have much money. I met his teacher and him. He flew to America. And he stayed with his teacher for a few days. And you know what happened? On the day that he died, he was around 40. On the day he died, his teacher called him into the room and he put his head in his lap and he stroked him. He stroked Gelongla. And Gelongla passed away that way. We're like, and you know what? When I heard that, I prayed that would happen to me. That my teacher would stroke my head as I'm dying. And guess what? Gelongla came back as a young Chinese girl. This Austrian monk. And guess what? He was recognized. He didn't come back as a Rinpoche. He's not, Gelongla Rinpoche or something. He's officially recognized as returning back in the form of a young Chinese girl, connected with his teacher again. Now, when Justin had his accident, I was upstairs in my room talking to a group of people, and JP ran up and told me that Justin had fallen and he's unconscious. So I said, get the ambulance, quick, fast. Then I said, wait a minute. I asked a few more questions. I went downstairs and I said, where's Justin? They said they took him in a car. My gut feeling at that moment was call him back. Because I have something very precious for my teacher that's very holy. And I wanted to place that on Justin's head. I wanted to place that on Justin's head to bless him. If he was to come to life, he will come to life. If he was to pass away, the last thing that was put on his head was something extremely sacred. And as I told you, here is the most important. So they brought him back because he only left for about 2-3 minutes. And he came back and I saw him. His eyes was open. He was looking straight up. He wasn't moving. So I took the item and I put it on his head and I channeled. And I asked Justin's Buddha to come forth and bless him. Because you see, I don't have any power. And he was blessed. And I recited some prayers. Then I told him to take him immediately. Then Dr. Lance told me that right after that, he felt his pulse going off. So in my heart, by the time he reached the intersection lights, Dr. Lance said there was no pulse. My point, I'm glad I was able to do that for him before he passed and follow my instincts. Immediately after that, I went, sat down, and I set up for puja and to do a ritual for him. I had my assistants call up the monastery, and we had 15 senior monks. I'm talking about monks in their 70s, 80s, very practiced, doing immediately the Vajrayana self-initiation and the 35 conventional Buddhas. And I asked the monks, what would be the best thing for this person? They immediately said to me, Vajrayana self-initiation. And this practice can only be done by the most senior of the monks. 15 monks immediately went to the prayer hall of the monastery. I sponsored it all. Sponsor means what? I paid for the ang pao we give to each of them, also the ritual cakes, the items, and the equipment that they need. You don't pay the monks for any services. You offer an ang pao. And they did the ritual. They did it for 2 days straight because I wanted to make sure that Justin has a good send-off. On top of that, I did mine. Then I've instructed my household, the Ladang, to do for 49 days dedication rituals for Justin Ripley. So every single day we offer 21 candles to his Buddha's mantra and practice. And a group will sit together every single day in the Ladang and to do dedication for Justin Ripley. I am not doing this to make their family feel better. I'm doing this because everybody in the Ladang loved Justin. Simple as that. Now, in Buddhist ceremonies, I've already done his funeral. His consciousness is not around anymore. On that very day, I did a divination. A divination is to see into the future. My divination was authorized by my teacher. So I did a divination and I asked a question 3 times consecutively. Basically, will Justin take a good rebirth? And I slipped in nearby. And the divination came out 3 times. Yes, he will take a good rebirth. After I saw that, I was at peace. You see, I am informed to pray for the dead almost on a weekly basis. Every single week of my life, I am informed someone has died. My friend's parents' mother, this person's auntie, this person's grandmother, this person's son. Every single week of my life, I get a message that I need to pray for someone. Someone has died. That's my life. Okay, that is my life. So according to the Buddhist tradition of doing funerals and sending off a person's mind and consciousness, we have done everything. And I am at peace. At peace doesn't mean we don't miss him. At peace doesn't mean we don't think about him. At peace means I know I've done everything I can. I didn't disturb the family, or I didn't ask Achara members to ask the family to do anything or to donate or help or give anything. Why? I know I can handle it. Now, I have asked my students to bring me some of Justin's hair and some of his ashes, if I may, because this is what I wish to do. There's a special ritual, very, very, very esoteric. It's called rucho. It's with people's bones, ashes, hair, and nails. You do a ritual. So in their lifetime, if they have done things that were very harmful and bad, and they will take rebirth in one of the three lower realms, as Buddha has stated, this ritual will purify them. It's not guaranteed, but it will help tremendously. Afterwards, you will take their bone, their hair, their nails, or their ashes, and you will put it inside a stupa for people to collect merit. Because we believe when you put it inside a stupa and you put relics and sutras and prayers and images of the Buddha, whoever makes prayer at the stupa, whoever circumambulates around the stupa, the merits will go to Justin. So I will keep a part of his items, his hair, and his ashes, if I may, for KWPC. I will send the other half to the monastery for the monks to consecrate, for the monks to bless, and for the monks to keep, to put inside a stupa or a statue to be worshipped for hundreds of years from today on. I will arrange that. I will also arrange a memorabilia for Justin in the monastery, which is creating a large statue of a particular Buddha and filling it up traditionally and putting it there in Justin's name, so that every single day, hundreds of pilgrims who visit the temple will pray to this image and the merits will be dedicated to Justin again. I will make sure, to the best of my abilities, that I will dedicate merits for his good rebirth. And in the Buddhist tradition, when someone dies, they would use that person's wealth, if they had any wealth, to take a part of it and distribute to the monasteries. They will offer mudin to the high lamas. They'll offer robes to the monks. They'll offer dana to the monks. They'll ask the whole Dharma community to do prayers for him. So in the Buddhist tradition, when a person has died, we will take a part of his wealth, if he has, and we will give it to the monasteries to offer dana to the monks, robes to the monks. We will erect statues and commemorate it to them. Why? Because as long as the statue remains, that person's essence will be with the statue and the merits can be dedicated to that person.